We flew from Santiago, Chile to Punta Arenas. It was about 3.5 hours south.
Atlantic. This is the only city in Chile that faces the Atlantic. The rest of the cities are all facing to the Pacific. So usually when Chileans come over here, they get a little bit confused because we have the sun coming from the sea. So land over there, and that's Tierra del Fuego Island. And then after Tierra del Fuego, that's the Atlantic, the world. So we can have winds up to 180 kilometers per hour inland. And last week we did have those kind of winds. Also, it's a very isolated city. So this is this leg of the east, and the other leg that goes to the Pacific is that one over here.
Bernardo O'Higgins was a wealthy landowner of Spanish and Irish ancestry. He led the fight for independence from Spain.
Beautiful trees, a little bit further, that are trimmed round. I'm going to show you those trees. Americans, they grow very well in here because they don't get these very big branches. Because of the wind, it's a little bit dangerous to have them being so big because one of the branches can fall.
Okay, this is downtown Punta Arenas. And there's our ship. Okay, one can get up here through all those stairs. Bunch of locks here. This is a cemetery.
He came from Portugal, and he was one of the richest people in the whole Patagonia region. They got into this big business with the cattle. He got 1 million hectares, like 2 million acres of land in Tierra del Fuego Island to start with.
This is Sarah Braun, who got really rich and gave all the land for the cemetery and lots of other things. This is a very fancy cemetery. Our tour guide thinks that it's more impressive than Recoleta in Buenos Aires. 600 cypress trees.
So this mausoleum behind me belongs to Menendez family. The king of the Patagonia is buried here, over here, and the whole family. In that time, they were big families. But this family, this particular family, the Menendez, they don't live in here anymore. Society, that's very common in Chile, and especially places like this that is full of immigrants, for each nationality to have a mausoleum to bury the people that they didn't have any place to be buried. So this was the one of the Croatian community. There's one of the Spanish community. That one over there, just on the side of the Menendez, is from the French community. There's an Italian. So this part of the cemetery, from Sarah Braun's mausoleum to here, and to those cypress alley over there, and a little bit further, it used to be the English sector. Now everything is very mixed. At the beginning they tried to do it like that, just the English in here, just the Italians in here. This was the English one.
The black stones are English. This is the Braun family mausoleum.
Some friends for tourism. I just was showing them the cemetery. And it was open. I didn't remember that. So I went inside and I saw that here is Sarah Braun's parents. Is Elias and Sophia Hamburger.
This is not a mausoleum for ashes. The whole bodies are in there. They're stacked up, uses less land. And look at all the flowers and the pictures.
But that's one of the reasons of why they had to just close the cemetery during the night.
And here there's a huge big wall. Oh wow, it goes all the way down there. Here's a group mausoleum for members of the International Maritime Society. This one is for the Carabinieri de Chile. That would be the police. Captain Andresen was born in Norway, and he has the distinction of being the first to raise a Chilean flag on the continent of Antarctica. Sarah Braun here, who was Russian, immigrated here, married, and became very wealthy. Husband died. She took over the business, got richer. She lived from 1862 to 1955. This museum was started by Salesian missionaries in 1893. It starts with exhibits about the oldest known inhabitants of the area and moves on to issues regarding colonialism, religion, and eventually current day issues. These statues came from Rapa Nui. Part of a skull of a blue whale.
What we see in this room is a little bit of the prehistoric history. I want you to imagine all that you've seen till now covered in ice. So everything, all the Patagonia region was covered in ice in the last glaciation. That's hand paintings. There are some drawings over here with hand paintings. This cave is dated between 4,000 and 5,000 years ago. In that time, we had humans living in here, 5,000 years ago. But when they found the Milodon, in the cave of the Milodon, because they found it in a cave, there are remains, human remains of 10,000 years ago. We have the biggest population on Earth here in the Patagonia between Argentina and Chile. It's very protected. It should be all through the Andes. It's an Andean bird, but there's no more condors in Venezuela. It should be. Okay, so in the square, well, as you can see, it's full of graffiti everywhere.
Get off in the plaza and have some time on our own because we cannot show up at the ship yet. They're not. If we say we need to go, we go. All right? Because right across the plaza, that way to your left, there is a hotel.
Rich lady from the cemetery is Sarah Braun, and that's her house.
Built at the same time as Sarah Braun's. The date is at the end of the 1900s, beginning of the 1800s. This was modified in time because at the beginning it had just one store. And then they put the second one. Do you see there's a tower over there? Yeah. So from that tower he was looking at the bay and seeing the ships coming and going.
Seeing this everywhere. Broken windows over here. Well, actually they're broken and replaced with plywood. They want a new constitution. Who like to consider themselves as a separate, independent republic in Chile. Kind of like the guys in Key West with the Conch Republic. Some more graffiti. All political. Beautiful Art Deco building. It was the Bronze and the Menendez, the people who really owned this place for a long time. There was probably a lot of income inequality then.
Most of the banks in the city were attacked by people. Most of the pension system stores or business were attacked by the people because they are...
Colored flag is the Patagonian flag. Of course, the red, white, and blue with the stars, Chile.
You know, you can definitely see European influence.
Oh yeah, definitely European.
Yeah.
French even.
That's definitely.
This monument is dedicated to the takeover of the Strait of Magellan by the state of Chile in 1843. Finally time to board our cruise ship.